Let me tell you how it really went down, a story that started as a business trip and ended up shaking an entire industry, maybe even shifting the ground a little for justice in America. Picture this: Jessica Carter, powerhouse CEO of Pinnacle Investments, walking onto a SkyWest Airlines flight, first-class ticket in hand, that cool Armani blazer fitting her like armor. She's just landed a $120 million deal with SkyWest. No small feat, and you can bet her mind is still working over the details as she eases back in her seat, ready to exhale for just a minute. But before she can even pull up her slides, there's a tap on her shoulder. Flight attendant, all business, none of that Midwest warmth they're so proud of. "Ma'am, can I see your boarding pass again?" The words are clipped, cold, and Jessica can feel eyes shifting her way from across the aisle. She holds up her phone. Seat 2A, booked weeks in advance, her name right there in bold letters. The attendant, Emily Stevens, looks just a little too long, then asks for "I'd" loud enough for everyone nearby to hear. You know that feeling when you sense the rules are changing, just for you? That's what Jessica felt. She hands over her license and corporate badge, watches as Emily barely conceals a smirk. "There's an issue with your ticket," she says, and Jessica knows deep down this isn't about a ticket at all. Out of sight, in the galley, a different game is being played. Bradley Thompson, VP of Operations, fancy suit, icy stare, and a chip on his shoulder the size of the plane. He's got a bone to pick, and it's not just business. Get her out of 2A. Harris wants that seat, and you know how it goes. Take care of our VIPs. Emily protests, but it's no use. Bradley makes it crystal clear he'll trade her career for that seat in a heartbeat. Find an excuse. Glitch, duplicate booking, whatever. Move her. Now. Back in first class, the air feels thinner. Jessica's senses itch become the main act. Everyone watching, waiting. Emily returns, more rigid than before. "I'm sorry, Miss Carter, but there's been a seat conflict. We'll have to ask you to move to economy." Jessica's anger simmers, but her voice is steady, her pride intact. "No, I booked this seat, I paid for it, and I expect you to honor it." Emily stands her ground. Security's called in. 2 officers step up, tasers at their sides, just in case. The cabin goes quiet, phones come out. Richard Harris, the so-called VIP, appears in the doorway, shaking his head. "Some people just don't know their place," he mutters, loud enough for everyone to catch. Jessica knows she's outnumbered, outmaneuvered, but she's nobody's victim. "I will move, but only under duress, and I do not consent to this action," she says, making sure every witness, physical or digital, remembers this day. She leaves first class flanked by security, the humiliation settling in her chest like a stone, but her resolve only hardens. Economy is cramped, hot, Wi-Fi barely working. She asks for water, gets a lukewarm half cup. The message is clear: you're not welcome here. Jessica tries to shake it off, to prep for her meeting, but nothing works. Laptop glitches, files lost, and then a notification. Her luggage, with her business attire and all her presentation materials, has been accidentally sent to the wrong city. It's war by 1,000 cuts, and Bradley wants her to know exactly who holds the knife. But here's the twist: what Bradley never counted on. Someone's recording. Passengers post the whole ugly scene online. The hashtags catch fire, and suddenly Jessica is not just a businesswoman forced out of her seat, she's a symbol. Within hours, justice for Jessica trends across platforms, and the story's picked up by major media. Black female CEO forced out of first class to accommodate white VIP. The press, the public, even celebrities rally to her side. SkyWest's boardroom is in chaos. The CEO sweating as he tries to save face with apologies. But Jessica has learned by now apologies don't fix broken systems. At the corporate headquarters, Jessica is stopped at the door by a guard, forced to wait as white executives breeze by, escorted straight to their meetings. She's not new to this, but the sting is as fresh as ever. Eventually, SkyWest CEO, Walter Kingston, comes down himself, visibly rattled. "Miss Carter, please, this was all a misunderstanding." Jessica's eyes are cold steel. "No, Mr. Kingston, this isn't a misunderstanding. It's a pattern. And I'm not here for compensation. I want to make sure no one else goes through what I did. The board meeting is tense. Bradley Thompson pretends to be unbothered, but Jessica lays out her terms. The $25 million investment is frozen until there's an independent investigation into systemic discrimination. Bradley explodes, but Jessica is unshakable. What you did was deliberate, and I will not let this pass. Bradley lashes back with everything he's got. Smear campaigns, online trolls, false stories leaked to the press. Jessica's phone is flooded with threats. Her company's stock dips, and investors get nervous. But Jessica digs in, rallying her own team. She tracks down Emily Stevens, who hands over a USB full of secret recordings, proof that Bradley orchestrated the whole thing, that he's pulled this kind of stunt before. Other former employees come forward, each with their own story of how Bradley's bigotry stunted careers and poisoned the company culture. Jessica's team puts together a rock-solid case, but even in court, she finds the deck stacked. Judge Harrington, an old buddy of Bradley's, dismisses key evidence, openly siding with the defense. Jessica is no stranger to these games, and her private investigators soon uncover damning proof. Emails, photos, money trails, showing Harrington and Bradley colluded to rig the case. At a press conference, Jessica takes her shot. She lays out every ugly detail, every threat, every scheme. The recordings play, emails are published, and the world watches as Bradley and Harrington's careers unravel in real time. The FBI storms into Sky West headquarters. Bradley is arrested, Harrington resigns in disgrace, and Sky West CEO is forced out for enabling it all. In the aftermath, Sky West is reborn under Sandra Reeves, a reformer with a reputation for honesty, who brings Jessica onto the board to oversee sweeping changes, real, lasting ones. Bias training, new hiring initiatives, and open forums empower employees to speak up. Jessica's battle turns the company into a model for equity in aviation. But Jessica doesn't stop there. She launches the Corporate Justice Foundation, using her own wealth to support others who've suffered in silence. Her case becomes a landmark, referenced in boardrooms and courtrooms across America. Soon, other major airlines follow suit, rolling out reforms inspired by her example. A year later, Jessica stands at the helm of Sky West board, her voice carrying new weight. We've come a long way, but we're not finished. Justice is something you fight for, every day, for everyone. Thunderous applause, and for a moment, she allows herself to feel pride, not just for herself, but for everyone who can now walk onto a plane or into a boardroom with dignity. Now, let me ask you, where do you stand? Do you believe corporate America is finally ready to change, or is this just another chapter in an old story? Share your thoughts in the comments, because justice doesn't end here. It starts with each of us, every time we decide not to look away.